So today we are going to discuss about the system. So in this previous class we discussed about the signals. Signals, what are the signal classification, signal types, group of signals, and classification of signals. These are the types of signals. Now we are going to discuss about systems. In this, first we are going to talk about the definition of the systems, and we are going to the different types of systems and a major classification of systems. So first we are going to definition. First, what is mean by system? System, it is a set of elements or it is a functional blocks which are connected together to produce an output in response to input. Right? So in this system, we have two types, that is CT system and DT system. That is continuous time system and a differential time system. You know, continuous time system associated with the continuous time signal, and DT system it is associated by the DT signals. Like the CT system, there are so many examples are there. That is analog filters, analog transmitters and receivers. You know, already we know that the TV set is there. It is a big system. In this having the number of elements are connected to it. That means amplifiers, filters. These are the small systems connected to the major system. That is a TV set. And the DT signals, having a DT systems, this is computers, printers, microprocessors. These are the discrete time systems examples. Figure shows the continuous time system and the DT system. In this, we are giving this is the CT system. In this, we are giving the input signal, that is continuous time input signal, and we get the output signal, that is continuous time output signal. So the input signal is denoted by x of t and output signal is denoted by y of t. So mathematically we can represent it as y of t equal to transformation of the input signal, that is x of t. And also the input signal is also called as an excitation, and the output signal is called as a response. The input excitation is given to the system, the output is a response of the input signal. So we are called like this. So also the DT system, in this also discrete time input signal is given to the system. The output is the DT output signal like y of n, and also we know transformation of x of n. This is the figure of continuous time system and discrete time system. Next we see the classification of the properties, that is based on the properties. These are the classification of systems. So in this first property, dynamicity property. In this property we have a static and a dynamic systems, and second one shift invariant property. In this property we have a time invariant and a time variant system, and third one linearity property. In this we have a linear and non-linear system, and then causality property. In this causal and non-causal system, and then stability property. In this we have stable and unstable system, and the last one invertibility property. In this we have a invertible and non-inversible systems. Next we see the one by one. So first is the static and dynamic systems. It is also called as memory and memoryless systems. So what is mean by static system? In this the continuous time system. This system also both it is applicable to both the continuous time signal and the discrete time signal. The first one, the continuous time system. In this the output depends upon the present input only. If it is get the output means, so it depends only input means it is a static system. That means the memoryless systems. Memoryless, for example, y of n equal to 10 into x of n. Right? In this you just apply the n equal to 0. Sample value n equal to 0 sample value. So the y of 0 equal to 10 into x of 0. That is the output is depends on only present input only, not a past, not a future. Right? Present input value. That means here the y of n depends upon only nth input sample. Depends upon the output. So this system need not have memory. Okay, right? So this system is a static system. If you want the memory means this system is a dynamic system. That means dynamic system, for example, y of n equal to x of n plus x of n minus 1. Right? So in this we have you just applied a 0 value. So y of 0 equal to x of 0 plus x of minus 1. So the output depends on present input and also the past input. Right? So this system is the dynamic Why? Because the output depends on present and past values. So we need the memory, right? So the system is a dynamic system, right? So static system is a memoryless system, dynamic system is a memoryless systems, right? So dynamic systems are, for example, dynamic system examples: integration, differentiation, accumulator. These are the examples for dynamic systems, right? Today we are going to discuss about the classification of systems. Previous class we discussed static and dynamic system. This class we have discussed about the shift invariance property. In this we have two. That means the time invariant system and the time variant system. That means the continuous time system, the time variant or time invariant means if the system, the input is time shifting means the input signal is time shifting means the output is also the time shifting in the output signal. That means let us consider y of t equal to transformation of x of t. Already we know that. So if it is the input signal is delayed by t1 time means, so the output also delayed by the t1 time. This system is equal means that means the input is delayed by some time period or t1 means the output produces output. The response of the output also y of t minus t1 means the system is a time invariant system. If it is does not satisfy this system, the system is a time variant system. Is it clear? Next, similarly, also the DT system, the input output characteristics of the DT system do not change with the time. Means the system is a time invariant system, it is the change means the time will change means the system is a time variant system. Like also x of n, input x of n, the output is y of n. So transformation of x of n minus a is equal to the y of n minus a. Here the n is the time shift using the constant. For example, let us take our problem y of t equal to e power t into x of t. For example, so here we are going to apply the input. Input is the output is first the output is delayed by t1. That means the input is delayed by t1. So y of t comma t1 equal to the t1 is the shifting time, right? So e power t into x of t minus t1. This is the equation number 1. Next, the delayed output it becomes, that means delayed output wherever the t is present, that means the time the delayed by t1. So y of t minus t1 is equal to e power t minus t1 into x of t minus t1. X of t minus t1. This is equation number 2. That means the input is delayed by t1 shifting and also output also delayed by t1 shifting. Right? If it is equal to that means from equation 1 and 2 we conclude that means y of t comma t1 equal to y of t minus t1. If it is equal to means the system is a time invariant system. Suppose not equal to means the time system is a time variant system. So the given problem is here the time variant system, right? Next property, linearity property. In this we have linear and non-linear system. The continuous time system, if it is satisfied the superposition principle, this system is a linear system. Does not satisfy the system is a non-linear. The super principle means that the input, the output, that means the output, sum of output is equal to the sum of individual input is the superposition principle. Let us take the two inputs, that means y of 1 equal to f into x of 1 of t and y2 of t equal to f into x2 of t. So the continuous time linear system, the system is, that means f of a1 into x1 of t plus a2 into x2 of t. This is equal to the individual output, that means a1 into y1 of t plus a2 into y2 of t. Right? Here the a1 and a2 is the arbitrary constants. Right? Similarly, we also can write it as dt system, that is a1 into x1 of n plus a2 into x2 of n is equal to a1 into y1 of n and a2 into y1. Yes. Let us consider one example. For example, y of n equal to a cos of x of n. This system is a dt property. So first we can take the inputs. Consider that x1 of n and x2 of n is the linear combination of the two linear inputs. Right? So the y1 of n, here we are going to write the output is the linear combination of output. That means y of n is y1 of n equal to cos of x1 of n. That means the corresponding output is y1 of n, the corresponding input is the x1 of n. And also y2 of n equal to cos of x2 of n. Right? So you are going to, next step you are going to add the two equation. That means a1 into y1 of n plus a2 into y2 of n. That means it is equal to a1 into applying the equation y1 of instead of y1 of n, we substitute the cos x1 of n. So a1 into cos x1 of n plus a2 into cos x2 of n. This is equation number 1. Next, we are going to apply the due to the linear combination of input. The output is, we can take the y3 of n is equal to transformation of a1 into x1 of n plus a2 into x1 of n. First, we are going to apply the given equation. So let us take y3 of n equal to wherever the x is the variable x is present, the going to apply the equation here. That means cos of a1 into x1 of n plus a2 into x2 of n. This is equation number 2. So from 1 and 2 we conclude that both the equation is equal. No, here the equation is not equal. So the given system is a non-linear system. Today we are going to discuss about signals and systems. In this previous class discuss about the classification of systems. That is, we have five properties: stability property, causality property, linearity property, time invariant property, and invertible non-invertible property, and causal and non-causal property. So previous class we see the three properties. In this class we discuss about the two properties. So let first discuss about stability property. Stability property, we have a stable and unstable systems. So the system is a stable. That means every bounded input have a bounded output. Means the system is a stable. Right? So this criteria is applicable for both the continuous time system and the discrete time systems. That is, every bounded input if there is exist some finite value. Right? So that is for continuous time system, that is modulus of x of t less than or equal to that finite value m of mx less than infinity. That means bounded value. Right? And also write the dt system x of n less than or equal to mx less than infinity. Similarly, we can write the output also if there is exist some finite value, that is y of t less than or equal to my less than or equal to infinity, and also y of n, that is the discrete time value, y of n equal less than or equal to my less than infinity. If the right, this is a stable system. Suppose every bounded input the value is unbounded output, means the system is an unstable system. Right? That means the bounded output for bounded input, that is unstable system. Right? Let us see the example one by one. First we see the x of t equal to sine 100 by t. This is the continuous time system. So here we give the sine function. So we know that the sine function values lies between the minus 1 to 1. That means the figure shows the minus 1 to 1 period. So does not exist infinity value. So let x of t as a bounded input, means automatically the y of t is a bounded output. So then the given system is a stable system. Right? Next we see the example for unstable system. In this we have y of t equal to t into x of t. So in this system, first x of t is a bounded input, means y of t is a bounded output. But except when t tends to infinity. When t tends to infinity means automatically y of t is a bounded output. So the given system is an unstable system. Right? So next property is a causality property. So in this we have a causal and a non-causal. So the causal system means, that is, the output is depends on present and past inputs only. The system is a causal system. Does not depends on future values. That means it is a physically realizable system. That is, for example, resistor value. It is a physically realizable value. Right? x of t minus 1, x of t minus 2 and so on. So this present value and the past value do not apply for the future value, right? So and next is the non-casual. So non-casual means the system is said to be non-casual. So if its output depends on the future values, so then the system is a non-casual. And it is not a physically realizable one, right? So x of t, for example, x of t minus 1, x of t minus 2 and x of 2t, x of t plus 1. So in this we have that is present values, past values and future values. It depends on future values means the system is a non-casual system. So let us see one example. So y of t is equal to x of t plus x of t minus 1, right? So you just apply the sample value. So first you apply n equal to 0. So n equal to 0 means the output y of 0 is equal to x of 0 plus x of minus 1. That means the output depends on present input and past input, right? So the first sample value is proved by casual system, and the second value for n equal to 1. So n equal to 1 means so the output is x of 1 plus x of 0. So this is also the input, present input and past input. The third one n equal to minus 1 sample value. So y of minus 1 equal to x of minus 1 and x of minus 2. So both the input are the present values for present output. So the output depends on present and past inputs only. So the system is a non-casual system, right? That means the present and past values, not a depends on future values. So then the system is a casual system. So here we are going to see about the signals and systems. In this lesson, we are going previous class classification of signals and systems. So last class we discussed the properties. So here we are going to see the property casualty property. So in this casualty property already proved, that means casualty property we have a casual and a non-casual system. So casual system means the output is depends on present and past inputs only, not a future. If it is depends on future means the system is a non-casual system. So previous class example for casual system, this class we discuss about the non-casual systems. So for example, y of n equal to x of n plus x of n plus 2. Right? Here we are going to apply the samples value for n equal to 0. So n equal to 0 means y of 0 equal to x of 0 plus x of 2. Next n equal to 1. So y of 1 equal to x of 1 plus x of 3. Next n equal to minus 1. So y of minus 1 plus equal to x of minus 1 plus x of 1. So here the present input is depends on present, the present output is depends on present input and future input, right? First sample value, and the second sample value the present output is present input and also future value, and the third sample value the present output is equal to present input and also future value. So this system the output depends on present and future inputs. So the system is a non-casual system, right? Next we see the problem. So in that problem we have to prove all the properties, right? So determine whether the following systems are static or dynamic, linear or non-linear, time variant or invariant, casual or non-casual, stable or unstable. So we have to prove all the properties in that one problem, right? So let us take it as y of t equal to 10 into x of t plus 5. So in that property, first you have to prove the static and dynamic property, right? So solution for that. So y of t equal to 10 x of t plus 5. So in that system, so in here also we applied the samples value. So sample n equal to 0 means y of 0 equal to 10 into x of 0 plus 5. That means the present output depends on present input, right? So the next sample n equal to 1. So n equal to 1 means y of 1 equal to x of 10 into x of 1 plus 1. Here also the output is depends on present input only. The next sample n equal to minus 1. Here y of minus 1 equal to 10 into x of minus 1. Here also the present output is depends on present input. So the system is the total system, that means the all samples value we have to prove that the output is depends on present input only. not a past or not a future, right? So the system is a static system, that means a memory system, right? So the next property is a linear and a non-linear property. So in that we have to prove the linearity property. So y of t equal to 10 into x of t plus 1. So we are going to apply that. That means linear and non-linear property means we have to prove the superposition principle. The superposition principle means the sum of individual output is equal to weighted sum of the inputs, right? So first we have to prove the left hand side. So left hand side means what? That means the sum of individual outputs. The individual output, let us take it as input as y1 of t equal to 10 into x1 of t plus 5. Right? The second sample y2 of t equal to 10 into x2 of t plus 5. So we have to add both the equation. It gives 10 x1 of t plus 10 x2 of t plus 5 plus 5. That means this both equation we have to have here. So this is equation number 1. This is the sum of individual outputs. Next you have to prove the weighted sum of the inputs. That means the function x of t is replaced by x1 of t plus x2 of t, right? So the equation is becomes y3 of t is equal to, that means if you take it as y3 of t equal to 10 into, in that x of t is replaced by x1 of t plus x2 of t, right? Plus 5. So we have to solve this. So 10 x1 of t plus 10 x2 of t plus 5. This is equation number 2. So from 1 and 2 we observe the equation is equal? No, this equation is not equal. So the system is a non-linear system, right? So next we see the third property, that is shift variant and shift invariant property. So already we know that shift variant means the input only, the input alone varying the shifter. This is the equation number, that means left hand side. The next the input is, that means output is the total entire system is varied by time. So that system is a varying output system, that means right hand side. If it is both are equal means the system is a invariant system, that means both equation is not equal means time variant system. So let us take it as y of t equal to 10 into x of t plus 5. So in that we have to vary the input alone. Okay, input alone means the function x of t, that means, right? So y of t comma capital T equal to, the t means time period t. So the shift time is t mentioned here. So equal to 10 into x of t minus t plus 5. So here the input alone varying the shift. So this is equation number 1. So the next step is, so the entire system only you are going to vary the shift. So y of t minus t equal to 10 into x of t minus t plus 5. This is equation number 2. So from equation 1 and 2 we observe both are equal. Yes, this is equal. So the system is a time invariant system. So next property is a causality property. So causality property we have y of t equal to 10 into x of t plus 5. So we are going to apply the samples value. Based on the samples value, the input and output depends on present and past means is a causal. It depends on future means a non-causal system. Now we are going to apply the sample value n equal to 0. In this y of 0 equal to 10 into x of 0 plus 5. The present input output is depends on present input. And the next value n equal to 1. Y of 1 equal to 10 into x of 1 plus 5. That is also the present output is depends on present input. Here n equal to minus 1 sample. So y of minus 1 equal to 10 into x of minus 1 plus 5. That means present output, present input. So this system we observe the output is depends on present and past value. That means the output is depends on present value only. So the system is a causal system, right? The next, the last property is a stability property. The stability property, already we know that the system is said to be a stable means every bounded output is a for bounded input. So y of t equal to 10 into x of t plus 5. So in this, when x of t is bounded means, that means finite value, the automatically the output is a bounded, right? So the system is a stable system. That's all. So previous class we discussed the classification of systems. In this we have a linearity property, stability property, shift variance property, causality property and dynamicity property. So last class we discussed the problems. Here also we discussed one more problem. So invariant, casual and non-casual, and stable and unstable. So here we prove the Freie properties, right? So the problem is dy of t divided by dt plus t into y of t equal to x of t. So this equation is a differential equation, right? So here the solution is static and dynamic property. So first we have to prove the static and dynamic property. So problem is dy of t divided by dt plus t into y of t equal to dx of t. So this problem is a differential equation. So differential equation we need the memory, right? We need the memory. So this system is dynamic property. Okay, the system is involves the differentiation equation. So we need a memory. So we need a memory means automatically the system is a dynamic property, right? So the next property is the linearity property. So linearity property, the problem is dy of t divided by dt plus t into y of t equal to x of t. So we need the linearity property. So output is left side, other than this move to the right side. So for this purpose we move the simplification. T y of t into y of t equal to x of t. So minus dy of t divided by dt. So in this we have only output here. So y of t is here. So equal to the d is cross multiply the 1 by t x of t minus dy of t divided by dt. Right? So output is equal to input. So the form output is equal to input. So next we consider the two inputs. First let us consider y1 of t equal to 1 by t x1 of t minus d y1 of t divided by dt. So first sample. The second one is d y2 of t equal to 1 by t x of t minus d y2 of t divided by dt. So what is the process? So linearity property equal to sum of, that means to prove the superposition principle. That means to satisfy the superposition principle. So for that, sum of individual output is equal to weighted sum of the input. So first we prove the left hand side. So for this, first sum of individual outputs. So that means actually we already proved that y1 of t and y2. So you just sum the equation. So 1 by t equal 1 by d of x1 of t plus x2 of t minus d y1 of t divided by dt minus d y2 of t divided by dt. This is equation number 1. That means left hand side. Next we move the right hand side. So right hand side, that means weighted sum of inputs. So weighted sum of inputs means, that means the input is equal to x1 of t plus x2 of t. Right? So again we take it as another output y3 of t equal to 1 by t. So here the x of t is changed to x1 of t plus x2 of t minus d y1 of t divided by dt minus d y2 of t divided by dt. This is equation number 2. That means right hand side. That means weighted sum of inputs. So compare the 1 and 2. We observe the both equations are equal. So the system is a linear property. That means the system is a linear system. Right? Next move on to the third property, shift variance. Right? So shift variance. So for that also the output is equal to input in the form. Right? So take it as first varying the input allowed. So input allowed means y of t minus t. T is a time period, we already know that, equal to 1 by t x of t minus t minus dy of t divided by dt. This is equation number 1. So the second step is we the system shift by the total entire system, right? So y of t minus t is equal to 1 by t minus t x of t minus t minus dy of t minus t divided by dt. This is equation number 2. So compare 1 and 2. We observe both equations are equal. No, this is not. So 1 not 1 equal to not equal to 2. So this system is a time variant system. We are going to discuss about signals and systems. So previous class we discussed one problem. So for that we need a balance and two properties there. So fourth property is a casuality property. So the problem is y of t equal to 1 by t into x of t plus minus d y of t divided by dt. That means output is equal to input, the form. So in your casuality property, the system is a casual means the system present and past inputs. The output depends on present and past inputs means it is a casual system. Suppose the system depends on future means the system is a non-casual system. So we apply the property. So for example, for n equal to 0, the sample value n equal to 0. So y of 0 equal to 1 by t into x of 0 minus y dy of 0 divided by dt. So the present output is depends on present input, but the dy of 0 dy by dt the differential means the system we need the past input also. So the next sample n equal to 1. So y of 1 equal to 1 by t x of 1 minus dy of 1 by dt. So the present input present output depends on present input and also past input. So the system is the present and past based on present and past inputs. So the system is a cash flow system, right? So the last property is the stability property. So stability property, we know that every bounded input for every bounded output. That means the input is bounded means automatically the output is a bounded, right? So y of t equal to 1 by t x of t minus dy of t divided by dt. So this system, as long as the x of t is bounded means the y of t is also bounded. So the system is a stable system. Here we are going to discuss about signals and systems. Today we are going to start the second unit 2, analysis of continuous time signal. So first unit we already studied what is meant by signal classification, operation of signals, and system classifications. So in this signal we have a major 2 types, that is a continuous time signal and a discrete time signal. So continuously varying with the time means it is a continuous time signal. Discrete is a certain instance of time, that is x of n is a discrete time signal. Here now we are going to analyze the signal. So we are going to analyze the signal. So for this using the mathematical tool, that means the powerful tool is there. So Fourier series representation and Fourier transform representation and the Laplace transform representation. For the purpose signal analysis, so here using Fourier series. The Fourier series is using that is a periodic waveform, means using the Fourier series representation. If it is aperiodic means the signal spectrum is aperiodic means we are using this Fourier transform. Next the Laplace transform, this is also the aperiodic signal and the infinite number of time period. The signal is the infinite number of period and the periodic means using the Laplace transform. So let us discuss one by one. Now we are going to discuss Fourier series representation. So Fourier series representation, we have the signal, we have a continuous time signal, discrete time signal. Here we are using the continuous time signal. So continuous time Fourier series. This is a waveform, that is a spectrum signal analysis we are using here. So the Fourier series representation, that means the Fourier series representation, it is a periodic waveform. It is an infinite number of sine and cosine terms. That sine and cosine terms are called as a basis function, right? The basis function, it gives the information about the harmonics, right? Harmonics content of the signal. So the Fourier representation, here we are using the time domain only, right? So this representation we have 3 things, that is trigonometric Fourier series or quadrature Fourier series, and second one is cosine Fourier series or the polar Fourier series representation, and the third one is the exponential Fourier series and the complex Fourier series representation. So this is the representation using Fourier series here. So let us discuss one by one. Before that we have discussed existence of Fourier series. The existence of Fourier series means it is also known as a Dirichlet condition. That means the periodic waveform by using the Fourier series representation under some conditions, that is called the Dirichlet conditions. That means the x of t, the signal x of t is must have a single value over the time interval t0, right? This is the first condition. And the second condition, the signal x of t must have a finite number of discontinuities. The second point. The third point, x of t must have a finite number of maxima and minima. That is integral of t to t plus t0, the time period t0, modulus of x of t dt must less than the infinity. That means that is the finite value. That this is the existence of Fourier series, very important one. So let us discuss one by one representation. That is first one, trigonometric Fourier series or quadrature Fourier series. In this we have a signal, the periodic waveform, the Fourier series periodic waveform. That means x of t equal to a0 plus summation n equal to 1 to infinity a n cos n omega naught t omega naught t. So this is the representation of trigonometric Fourier series representation using here. So in this where an and bn is the constants or Fourier coefficients, right? So the a0 is the DC component and the extension value, that is an cos omega naught t plus bn sin omega naught t is the first harmonic value. So we are using nth sample means nth harmonic value. So right, so a and n already say Fourier coefficients, right? This is the for trigonometric Fourier representation or the quadrature Fourier, and also called the sinusoidal Fourier series representation.